Hello and welcome to this little introduction to the course I'm offering here, to receive and to savor. And my name is Emma. Some of you know me from workshops, from writing, some of you don't. But all of you are really welcome, and I'm super conscious this is a humble and perhaps, it's a humble offering into this theme in a way, to receive and to savor these themes. So I'm going to say a tiny bit about why I felt inspired to offer this theme at the moment. I've been working on a longer course, The Art of Wanting, and when I was reflecting on what might be valuable to people who I'm not working with directly, and to all of us who find ourselves under some form of pressure or of kind of recalibration of our normal rhythm of life, what might be useful material or a useful theme to kind of turn over and have some resources about. And I came back to this theme of receptivity and savouring, really because both of those qualities can be sources of nourishment in times of pressure, in times of limitation or deprivation, where some of our normal resources we don't have access to. And when I was thinking about doing this introduction, I was thinking about poetry, because I kept thinking of Patrick Kavanagh's poem Advent, and this sense of in a sense, the gains of limitation. And I'm not trying to minimize the genuine pressure, stress, and sort of, for some of us, fear, maybe horror, of some of the limitations we're in. But I want to speak more to, in a sense, what happens us when some of our traditional resources are taken away. And where Kavanagh talks about here in the Advent darkened room, where the dry black bread and the sugarless tea of penance, he says, will charm back the luxury of a child's soul. And then he says, and the newness that was in every stale thing, when we looked on it as children. He's talking about waking up that capacity to take in life freshly. So I think there's something about, as we enter the Advent darkened room, kind of how can we find value in entering that room rather than seeing it only as deprivation. So that's one of the poems that came up for me. And then the happier poem came from Seamus Heaney. And the reason I want to speak about this one is that it really speaks to a core part of, I think, what it is to balance our psyches into receptivity and savouring, and away from being lost in busyness, lost in stimulus, lost in doing. So the poem is, I think it's officially Ireland's favourite poem, and it's that lovely verse he's written about his mother where he says, and just listen to this from the point of view of savouring and of taking in life even though they're actually doing together. Most of you may know this poem by heart, better than me, I don't know it by heart. When all the others were away at Mass, I was all hers as we peeled potatoes. They broke the silence, let fall one by one, like solder weeping off the soldering iron. Cold comfort set between us, things to share, gleaming in a bucket of clean water, and again let fall. Little pleasant splashes from each other's work would bring us to our senses. I won't read further than that, but as a sort of description of entering a state of pleasure in, let's say, a simple chore, it's a really exquisite piece of writing. We know that already. But it captures for me how when we waken up the savouring muscle, or we find ourselves in a state of savouring, that very simple things can touch us very deeply and resource us very deeply. Like he says at the end of that verse, never closer the whole rest of our lives. So the sacredness and the preciousness of being able to experience from our presence in that more receptive way, I think is just really beautifully expressed in that poem. So I can't promise you I can't promise you that you'll be either feeling or writing like Seamus Heaney at the end of this course. Obviously, that's a little unrealistic. But I think when I speak about the poem, I really see how beautifully it catches what the kind of the depth and the value of the theme of savouring. So welcome again. I hope you find something here that brings value to you or somebody you care about, and it's I'm very grateful for your presence here. Okay, thank you.